Imagine you are sitting at a dinner table. Someone begins talking about their childhood. A third-grade teacher, the smell of their mother's kitchen, the texture of a favorite blanket. They say these things casually, like opening a drawer and finding exactly what they were looking for, and you sit there nodding. Because when you try to do the same, when you reach back into your own history, you don't find a faded photograph, you find a wall. Not a soft blur, not a "I just don't remember the details." A sheer vertical drop. You know the facts. You know where you lived. You know the names of your family members. You can recite the dates. But you don't have the feeling of being there. The emotional texture is completely absent. It's as if you came online, fully formed, at the age of 15 or 16. Before that, a grey, impenetrable fog. And when you mention this to people, this total blankness, they wave a hand and say, "I don't remember much either." Who remembers being 6? They compare your complete blackout to their occasional inability to recall a birthday or the color of a bicycle. But you know the difference. A faded memory leaves a residue, a feeling of almost. What you experience feels like a library that hasn't just lost some books. It feels like a library that has been systematically flooded. Now, before we go deeper, it's important to understand what psychology actually tells us about childhood memory, because most people misunderstand this. There is a well-documented phenomenon called childhood amnesia, also called infantile amnesia. Research tells us that almost nobody has clear memories before the age of 3 or 4. The hippocampus, the part of the brain responsible for converting experiences into long-term memories, is still developing during those early years. Think of it like a filing system that hasn't been fully installed yet. There's also a language connection. A 2023, Psychology Today review explains that much of our memory is structured through language. Memories formed before we learn to speak are organized differently and become very difficult to retrieve later in life. And here is something remarkable from a 2017 study published in Nature Neuroscience. Early memories may not be deleted at all. They may exist as what researchers call a latent memory trace, stored silently, inaccessible to conscious recall, but still influencing how we feel, how we react, how we move through the world. Your early memories may not be gone. They may simply be locked. But for some people, what we are describing goes beyond the normal boundaries of childhood amnesia. There is a specific quiet panic that sets in, not just the absence of memories, but the weight of that absence. You feel it in the body, a subtle tightening in the chest, a shallowing of breath when someone asks, "What was your childhood like?" And here is where psychology offers something important to understand. When a child grows up in an environment of chronic stress, which can be overt trauma, but it can also be subtler things like emotional neglect, an unpredictable home, or a parent who was emotionally unavailable, the brain does something extraordinary. It floods the system with cortisol and adrenaline, stress hormones that prepare the body for survival. But these same chemicals are toxic to the hippocampus. In moments of high overwhelm, the brain's librarian, the hippocampus, effectively goes offline. The brain decides that recording this moment is less important than surviving it. So the memory is not stored as a clear story with a beginning, middle, and end. It is stored as raw sensation in the amygdala, the brain's alarm system. You don't remember the event, but your body remembers the feeling, the tension, the freeze, the hypervigilance. You carry the emotion of the past without the images of the past. This is why so many people who experience difficult early childhoods describe themselves as feeling like they only came online in their mid-teens. Because in a very real neurological sense, the part of them that was overwhelmed was protected by being hidden. And this protection comes at a cost, because keeping a vault sealed requires energy. Your nervous system is running a constant background process, what psychologists refer to as active inhibition, using resources that should be available for creativity, for connection, and for rest. This is why many people with large childhood memory gaps experience a chronic, low-level fatigue that sleep doesn't resolve. It is not the tiredness of exertion. It is the tiredness of holding a heavy door shut against a gale force wind. There are other signs too, because you lack what psychologists call autobiographical continuity, the sense of a coherent personal history. You are forced to construct your identity in real time. Most people rest on their past. Their history informs their present automatically. You don't have that anchor, so you compensate. You become hypervigilant, always reading the room, tracking micro-expressions, scanning for tone shifts. You become expert at reading other people while remaining, in many ways, opaque to yourself. And in quiet moments, when the distractions fade, the static gets louder. A creeping anxiety, an aching emptiness, a sense that something is always about to go wrong. This is not a personality flaw. This is what a nervous system looks like when it has been running on high alert for a very long time. Here is what I want you to hear. The silence in your mind is not a malfunction. It is not evidence that you are broken, or that your early years were meaningless, or that you never really existed back then. It is evidence that your brain, when faced with more than it could safely process, protected you. It built a wall not to trap you, but to keep you functional, to keep you moving forward. Research now tells us that even memories we cannot consciously access still shape us. The way we attach to people, the way we respond to conflict, the way we experience safety, or the absence of it. Your past is not gone. It is living in your nervous system, in your posture when someone raises their voice, in the way you flinch at certain tones, in the warmth you feel towards someone who is genuinely kind. And the question for anyone sitting with this kind of silence is not, how do I force it open? The question is, what would happen if I stopped holding it shut so tightly? Because healing from this kind of amnesia is not about excavating the past. It is about building, slowly, the safety that was missing. Safe relationships, safe environments. A nervous system that learns that it does not need to be on guard. That is when the door sometimes opens on its own. If this video describes something you recognize in yourself, take that seriously. Not with fear, but with curiosity. You are not broken. You are a person whose mind did exactly what it needed to do to survive. And survival was just the beginning. If you found this helpful, consider sharing it with someone who might need to hear it. Psycholume, understanding the psychology of being human.